Today I'm going to talk to you about Grid 3, which is an assistive technology communication device that individual learners can use within your classroom. So what is it? It's a communication device that includes a multitude of resources that you can control with touch, switch, eye gaze, and different pointing devices. Students can use it to communicate via text or symbols. There's different content and range for all ages and abilities, so you can really manipulate the program and individualize it per student. It assists learners in their communication through everyday needs, but it also allows them to access different learning tools inside the Grid 3 programming. One of the great things about Grid 3 is that it offers symbol communication. Through the symbol communication, there's something called super core vocabulary. So if we look over to the right, you'll see something like this in the Grid 3 program. You can choose between people, questions, actions, describe, or little words, and that's your extended core from your core vocabulary, which is here. You might see a similar screen in this sense, and then it gives you also different dynamic columns with time, position, chatting, daily things, play. There's 2,500 most commonly used phrases and words, and there's over 70 grid topics that you can search through for a student. Here are some of the different symbol communication programs within Grid 3. These might vary depending on the cognitive ability of your individual student. They also offer text communication. So if you have a student who's able to communicate somewhat verbally but maybe not put together full sentences or phrases, this might be better for them. They can use Text Talker, which is text to speech, and they can also use the Swift Key prediction tools, which help generate phrases and words as they type. So again, over on the right, we're looking at a window that's showing a chat history. And here we have the different short key words, and then there's phrases that are coming up at the top that they might say on a regular basis or use through their daily activities. And you can just choose these phrases and it'll go right to the communication. They can then put these communication phrases in their message banking, which is great. So people who have some communication can then speak and save the phrase in the app and then go back and recall it as they need. 2 or 3 options for the text communication are Fast Talker, AlphaCore, and Text Talker. So again, these are available options within the Grid 3 platform. How can you use this in your classroom? So Grid 3 would be more of an individualized education technology program for a student. It can be used for their everyday communication, but you can also use it as a learning tool in a sense that they can play interactive games and tools throughout there for working with the device. So up top here it says 5 areas of learning. There's different sensory, exploration, target, choose, and control functions that you can help navigate through the programming. They also have Look to Read, where students can access different books through eye gaze, switch, and touch access. So that's an example down here at the bottom. Step 1, you would choose from the 16 stories that are in there. Step 2, see the words that are displayed, look, touch, or press your switch to move over the mouse to hear them read aloud. And then you can bring those animations to life by clicking them through in the story. So as the instructor or a guardian that is working with a student with Grid 3, you need to know how to actually make sure you use the device correctly, and not the program itself, but if you're working with an iPad or some other kind of tablet, that would be step 1. Step 2 would then be having these trainings on Grid 3 itself. So you can go to their website and they have learning resources, Smartbox training, and they also have webinars, which are great. You'd also want to go through and find common troubleshooting and program malfunctions or device malfunctions, so you have options to go from there and kind of have a background in that on how to fix anything that you might run into. The price is something that is not listed specifically on their website. You do have to individually contact them for a quote, but on their website they provide a map here of the United States, and it's currently funded in these 9 states. That's not to say that, for instance, if a student in Pennsylvania needs this device, that they can't maybe apply for the funding and see if it would be accepted. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but you could possibly see that if your individual student needed that kind of information. You can also subscribe monthly through the iPad, but again, the price is not listed, but it would be great to maybe start with that 30-day free trial and see what you can get from there. So overall, my recommendation would be to definitely get this device if you know of a student who needs alternative community communication technology. It's a great way for them to be interactive with students around them, be interactive and communicate with a one-on-one aide, or even you as an instructor. So there's a lot of different programs within the Grid 3 that you can download and personalize to that learner to really make it an individualized program. It's going to take you time and patience, but that comes with any assistive technology. And the only downfall is that there's no pricing on their website. But overall, my recommendation is again, if you need alternative communication, Grid 3 seems like a great program to use.